Hello, friends! Welcome to our life! Are you sad? Are you hurt? Are you lost? Are you lonely? Worry no more. You are at the right channel. Welcome to Excuses!
Hello mga ka-ex! Welcome back. Now for our lesson, we are going to solve for the roots of quadratic equation using completing the square. Now let us start with our first example. Given our first example, x squared plus 4x minus 12 is equal to 0. We need to solve for the roots of this equation using completing the square. To do that, we have our first example to make it into perfect square trinomial. To do that, we need to place our constant term on the other side. So we are going to add both sides by 12 so that we can cancel negative 12. So the remaining terms are x squared plus 4x is equal to 12. To perform the perfect square trinomial on the left side, we are going to take the numerical value of our second term, and that is 4. Then divide it by 2. So 4 divided by 2, that is 2. Then we are going to square the quotient. So 2 squared is equal to 4. So we are going to add both sides by 4 to make our equation balance. As a result, we are given x squared plus 4x plus 4 is equal to 12 plus 4, that is 16. For our second step, we are going to factor this perfect square trinomial. We are given a pattern, this one. Now, we are going to identify a numerical value to be placed inside this parenthesis. And that value is our second numerical value of the second term over 2, or we can just say the square root of 4. So, we can use this one. As you can see, our quotient is positive, so we're going to use plus. And we can take now 2 is equal to 12 plus 4, that is 16. For our third step, we can do extracting the roots, given our equation. And as you can see, we can do square root on the both sides. So we can cancel the square root here, and likewise the square. And we can extract x plus 2 is equal to the square root of 16, that is positive and negative 4. Now to transpose positive 2 to the other side, we can do subtraction property. We will subtract both sides by 2 to make our equation balance. So positive 2 minus 2, that is 0. So x plus 0, we have x is equal to positive and negative 4 minus 2. So our first root, or x sub 1, is equal to the positive value of 4 minus 2. So 4 minus 2, that is 2. For our second root, we can use the negative value of 4 minus 2. So that is negative 4 minus 2, that is negative 6. So our roots are positive 2 and negative 6. For our second example, we are given 2x squared minus 10x plus 4 is equal to 0. To perform completing the square on this kind of quadratic equation, we are going to divide both sides on our numerical value of our first term, and that is 2. So 2x squared divided by 2, that is x squared. Then negative 10x divided by 2, we have negative 5x. And positive 4 over 2, that is 2, is equal to 0. So we can perform now our first step to make this expression into a perfect square trinomial. To do that, we need to place positive 2 on the other side. Therefore, we are going to subtract both sides by 2. So positive 2 minus 2, that is 0. And we have x squared minus 5x is equal to negative 2. Now, to complete this expression into a perfect square trinomial, we are going to take the numerical value of our second term, that is negative 5, divided by 2, that is negative 5 over 2. Then we are going to square this one, so we have negative 5 squared, that is 25, 2 squared, that is 4. Then we are going to add both sides by 25 over 4. As a result, we have x squared minus 5x plus 25 over 4 is equal to add a whole number and a fraction, we can do it like this. 4 times negative 2, that is negative 4, plus 25, that is 17 over 4. Next is, on our second step, we are going to factor the perfect square trinomial. Now we have our pattern here. So we are going to place our numerical value of our second term divided by 2. And as you can see, our operation or our sign here is negative. So our operation is minus. And we can copy now 5 over 2 is equal to 17 over 4. For our third step, we can do extracting the roots. Given our equation, we can do square root automatically on the both sides. So we can cancel now the square root and the squared. And that gives us x minus 5 over 2 is equal to square root of 17 over 4. So square root of 17, that is not a perfect square number. So that is still positive and negative square root of 17 is equal to the square root of 4, that is 2. You don't need to have double positive negative on the numerator and denominator. One positive and negative is enough. Next is, we are going to transfer negative 5 over 2 on the other side. And to do that, we can use addition property. So we can add both sides by 5 over 2. So negative 5 over 2 plus 5 over 2, that is 0. So we have x minus 0, that is x, is equal to, since these two fractions has the same denominator, so we can add them automatically. 5 plus minus square root of 17 over 2. Remember, we cannot add 5 and square root of 17, nor subtract. So our x sub 1 is the positive value of this expression, and that is 5 plus the square root of 17 over 2. And our x sub 2 is the negative value of this expression, and that is 5 minus square root of 17 over 2. And we are done with the completing of square.
If you find the lesson confusing, feel free to hit the replay button. Replay! 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 Replay.